So we start with section A. In section A, we have to answer the following questions, and each question has 1 marks, and the total marks of section A is 4 marks. Now the first question is, the decimal expansion of rational number can never be. Now whenever we consider rational number, then rational number has two type of decimal expansion. Either it has terminating decimal expansion or it has non-terminating recurring decimal expansion. And therefore we can say that the rational number never be has decimal expansion of non-terminating and non-recurring type, and therefore our right answer is option D. Now consider question number 2. If x plus 3 is one of the factor of x cube plus 2x square minus ax minus 18, then find out the value of a. Now remember your factor theorem. Now according to factor theorem, if your x plus a is a factor of your polynomial, so let the x plus a is the factor of your polynomial, then we have to consider x plus a is equals to 0. And from that, okay, you will get the value of x. So here x is equals to minus a. Now when you substitute this value of x in your given polynomial, that means in place of x, now we have to write down minus a. That is p of minus a. Then this p of minus a will be equals to 0. That is your factor theorem, right? Similarly here, your factor is given x plus 3. So if your x plus 3 is a factor, then if you take x plus 3 is equals to 0, then the value of x will be minus 3. And whenever you put this minus 3 value in your polynomial become zeros. That means p of minus 3 is equals to 0. Now, so substitute the value of x in place of minus 3. So minus 3 cube plus 2 into minus 3 square minus a into minus 3 minus 18 is equals to 0. Now cube of minus 3 is minus 27. Cube square of minus 3 is 9. Minus minus plus 3a minus 18 is equals to 0. Now simplify, 2 9s are 18. So here plus 18 minus 18 will cancel, and therefore minus 27 plus 3a is equals to 0. Now minus 27 goes opposite side, then it will be plus, and therefore 3 from multiplication to goes into division, and 27 divided by 3 is 9, and therefore your right answer is option C, 9. Question 3. Dash lines or lines pass through two distinct points. Now whenever we consider two distinct points, for example here we take point A and point B, then from these 2 points only one line can be drawn, right? And therefore your right answer is option C, one line pass through two distinct points. Now question number 4. What is the probability of getting 5 Mondays in February in a non-leap year? So first, whenever we have to find out the number of days in your month, we have to find out first number of weeks, right? Now in February month, generally there are 28 days, because here non-leap year is asking, okay, so 28 days. Now to find out the number of weeks, we have to divide the number of days by 7. So here 7 4s are 28, and 28 minus 28 0. That means we can say that your 28 days in February, okay, consist 4 weeks and no extra day. That means 4 weeks are possible. Now if 4 weeks are possible, that means there are 4 Mondays, 4 Sunday, 4 Tuesday, 4 Wednesday, 4 Thursday, 4 Friday and 4 Saturday. And here it is asking about 5 Mondays, and therefore, okay, that event is impossible event, and the probability of impossible event is always 0, and therefore your right answer is option D. Now starts with section B. Answer in brief, and the section B has total 8 marks, and here each question has 2 marks. Now question number 5, simplify. So first it is given 2 raised to the power 2 by 3 into 2 raised to the power 1 by 5. Now see here, if we consider the laws of exponent, then here the first, your base in both numbers are same, but their powers or exponents are different and they are in multiplication. So here we have to apply the formula, that is a raised to the power m plus n. That means if your base are same and they are in multiplication, then we have to add the exponents. So here similarly, by adding exponent, okay, it will be 2 by 3 plus 1 by 5. Now the LCM of 3 and 5 is 15. and therefore to obtain 15 we have to multiply 3 by 5. So multiply numerator 2 is also with 5. So 2 5s are 10, and here your denominator is 5. So to obtain 15 we have to multiply with 3. So multiply numerator with 3. 1 3s are 3, and 10 plus 3 13. So the answer is 2 raised to the power 13 by 15. Now the second is 7 raised to the power 1 by 2 into 8 raised to the power 1 by 2. So in this case, okay, your base are different. That means it is given a raised to the power m into b raised to the power m. Okay, that means exponents are same but your base are different. So at that time, okay, we have to multiply our base. That means a into b, and then we have to give the same exponent. So similarly here, your base are 7 and 8. So 7 into 8 to the power 1 by 2, and 7 8s are 56. So your final answer is 56 raised to the power 1 by 2. Question number 6. Find the remainder when x cube minus ax square plus 6x minus a is divided by x minus a. Now according to remainder theorem, whenever your polynomial is divided by your linear polynomial, for example, if you consider our linear polynomial is x plus a, so that polynomial is equals to, we have to take first 0. So plus a goes opposite side, then it will be minus a. And when you substitute this value of x in your polynomial, for example, when we substitute this value, that means p of minus a, then here p of minus a will be your remainder. That is your remainder theorem. But in this question, your linear polynomial is given x minus a, right? So take x minus a is equals to 0. So minus a goes opposite side, then it will be plus. So now when we put this value of x, that is a, in your polynomial, that is p of a, then that will be your remainder. Okay, and therefore see here, according to remainder theorem, your remainder is equals to p of a. So now in place of x, write down a. So a cube minus a into a square plus 6 into a minus a. Now cube of a is a cube, a square into a, that is a cube plus 6a minus a. Now here plus a cube minus a cube will cancel, and 6a minus a, that will be 5a, and that is your final answer. Next is question number 7. Give a definition for each of the following terms. Now the first term is given parallel lines. Now we know that if two lines, okay, never intersect each other, and if the distance between the points of those lines, okay, is always equals, okay, at any point, then those lines are known as parallel lines. The second one is perpendicular lines. So if two lines intersect at right angle, then those are known as perpendicular lines. The third one is radius of circle. So radius is a line segment that is formed by the joining of center of circle and any point on the circle. And the last one is square. So square is a special kind of your quadrilateral where all the angles are of equal measure. That means each angle has measure of 90 degree and all the sides are equal. Question 8. Two coins are tossed simultaneously 500 times and we get two heads 105 times, one head 275 times and no head 120 times. So find the probability of occurrence of each these event. Right now here your two coins are tossed simultaneously 500 times. That means here your total outcomes are 500 times, right? That means total outcome is 500. Now if we consider the first event, let the event is two heads come, then here your favorable outcome is 105 and therefore the probability is 105 upon 500. Now divide by 5. Okay, so 100 5s and 21 5s, and therefore your answer is 21 by 100, that is 0.21. Now consider the second event. So let the one head will come on both coins. So there is favorable outcome is 275 and therefore the probability of one head come is equals to your favorable outcome 275 upon total outcome 500. Now divide with 5. So 100 5s are 55 5s are, and therefore the answer will be 55 upon 100, that is 0.55. And now consider the last event, okay, where no head will come on both the coins and their favorable outcomes are 120 and therefore the probability of no head comes will be your favorable outcome 120 upon total outcomes 500. Now divide with 5. So 100 5s are 24 5s, and therefore the final answer will be 24 upon 100, that is 0.24. Now starts with section C. Answer the following in brief. Now in this section, each question has 3 marks and total marks are 9. Now before starting this section, okay, if you like this video, please like and share this video and also subscribe this channel, okay, to get the same videos and to clear your doubts. Now starts with question number 9. Express 0.999 in the forms of P by Q and discuss why the answer makes sense. Now whenever you have to convert your decimal expansion into rational, that means P by Q form, then always first you have to look that which type of decimal expansion is given. Now here your decimal expansion is non-terminating but recurring. That means if you consider 0.999, that means here in your repeating unit only one digit is repeated. Okay, that means only 9 is repeated in your repeating unit. So let first x is equals to 0.999, and because in your repeating unit only one digit is repeated, we have to multiply with 10. So multiply by 10 in both sides. So x into 10, it will be 10x. And here if you multiply with 10, then what happened? Your one decimal expansion, okay, is moved to the right side, and therefore the answer will be 9.999. Now consider that is your equation 1 and consider that is your equation 2. Now we have to subtract equation 1 from equation 2, and therefore 10x minus x is equals to 9.999 minus 0.999. Now 10x minus x, 9x, and 9.999 minus 0.999 is equals to 9. Now here 9 from multiplication to goes into division, and therefore 9 divided by 9 is equals to 1. That is the value of x, but initially we assume x is equals to 0.999. So therefore your final answer is 0.999 can be expressed in the form of P by Q, that is 1. Now here 1 is also considered as P by Q form, because here if you consider denominator 1, then your answer is 1. Similarly, if you consider 2 by 2, then your answer is 1, so it is also a rational form. That means always we can say that 1 is also in the form of P by Q. Question number 10. Find the remainder when x cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 1 is divided by 3 linear polynomials are given. First we have to divide by x plus 1, then we have to divide by 5 plus 2x, and then we have to divide by x, and in each time we have to find out remainder. So here also we have to use the remainder theorem. So if you consider the first one, so here your linear polynomial is x plus 1. Right, so now x plus 1 is equals to take 0, so plus 1 goes opposite side, then it will be minus, so x is equals to minus 1. That means now in your polynomial in place of x we have to write down minus 1, so we get remainder, and therefore in first one your remainder is p of minus 1, and that will be minus 1 raised to the power 3 plus 3 into minus 1 raised to the power 2 plus 3 into minus 1 plus 1. Now cube of minus 1 is minus 1, square of minus 1 is plus 1, and here plus minus minus 3 plus 1. Now open the bracket, so plus minus minus 1 plus plus 3 ones are 3 minus 3 plus 1. So here minus 1 plus 1 will cancel, and plus 3 minus 3 will cancel, and therefore your final answer is 0. Okay, now consider the second one. So in second one your linear polynomial is given 5 plus 2x. Now take this polynomial is equals to 0. So plus 5 goes opposite side, then it will be minus. So 2x is equals to minus 5. And 2 from multiplication to goes into division. So x will be minus 5 by 2. Now that value you have to substitute in your polynomial to obtain the remainder. And therefore see here remainder is equals to p in bracket minus 5 by 2. So that will be minus 5 by 2 raised to the power 3 plus 3 into minus 5 by 2 raised to the power 2 plus 3 into minus 5 by 2 plus 1. Now cube of minus 5 by 2 is minus 125 by 8. Square of minus 5 by 2 is 20 by 5 by 4. And here plus minus minus 3 5s are 15 by 2 plus 1. So now simplify it. So plus minus minus 125 by 8 plus 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 25 3s are 75 by 4 minus 15 by 2 plus 1. Now if we consider the denominator of each term, then here denominator is 8, here denominator is 4, in third term denominator is 2, and in last term denominator is 1. So the LCM of all the denominators will be 8. And therefore for first term there is no multiplication. In second term we have to multiply numerator with 2. In third term we have to multiply numerator with 4, and in last term we have to multiply numerator with 8. And therefore the simplified form will be minus 125 plus 150 minus 60 plus 8. And by solving the numerator, okay, we will get minus 27 answer. And therefore the remainder in the second case will be minus 27 by 8. Now consider the last one. So here only your linear polynomial is given x. So take directly x is equals to 0. That means your value of x is 0, and that value we have to substitute in your polynomial, which give remainder, and therefore remainder will be p of 0. So it will be 0 raised to the power 3 plus 3 into 0 raised to the power 2 plus 3 into 0 plus 1. So cube of 0, 0, here square of 0, 0, 0 into 3, 0, 3 into 0, 0 plus 1, and therefore the final answer will be 1. Now consider question number 11. If a point C lies between two points A and B such that AC is equals to BC, then prove that AC is equals to 1 by 2 AB. Explain by drawing the figure. So here, because your C point lies between A and B, the figure will be line segment AB and there is point C. That means A, C and B are collinear points where your AC is equals to BC, that is given. So here write down that point C lies between two points A and B. Now because your A, C and B are collinear points, we can say that the AB, that is the whole line segment AB, is equals to AC plus BC, right? But here already it is given that BC is equals to AC. That means in place of BC we have to write down AC. So AC plus AC, 2AC. Now 2 from multiplication to goes into division, and therefore AC will be half of AB, and therefore it is proved. Now starts with the final section, section D. And here we have to answer the following, and here each question has 4 marks. That means only one question will be there in section D. So question 12, an organization selected 2,400 families at random and surveyed them to determine a relationship between income level and the number of vehicles in family. Now the information gathered is listed in the table below. So in table, okay, monthly income is starts with less than 7,000 and up to 16,000 or more. And here number of vehicles per family are given. That means 0 vehicle, 1 vehicle, exactly 2 vehicles and above 2 vehicles. And the number of families are given. Now based on this table, we have to answer the following questions. So now let's see which are the questions are given. So suppose a family is chosen, find the probability that the family chosen is. So first is given earning 10,000 to 13,000 per month and owning exactly 2 vehicles. Second is earning rupees 16,000 or more per month and owning exactly 1 vehicle. Third is earning less than rupees 7,000 per month and does not own any vehicle. And the last one is owning not more than 1 vehicle. So from the table, okay, now we have to get that information and then we have to find out the probability. So now consider the first as event A, where your earning of the family is rupees 10,000 to 13,000 per month and they owning exactly 2 vehicles. And there are, from the tables, okay, there are 29 such families are there. That means 29 families will be your favorable outcomes. And therefore the probability of that event is 29 upon total number of families, that is 2,400. That means 29 upon 2,400. Now divide numerator and denominator by 24. So 1.2 into 24 will be 29 and 100 24s are. And therefore your final answer will be 1.2 upon 100, that is 0.012. Now consider second, event B. So earning rupees 16,000 or more per month and owning exactly 1 vehicle. So from the table, okay, such condition, okay, is fulfilled by 579 families and that will be your favorable outcome. and therefore the probability will be 579 upon 2400. Now dividing by 24, in numerator there will be 24.12 and in denominator there will be 100, and therefore the final answer will be 0.2412. Now similarly consider event C. Let the event C as earning less than rupees 7,000 per month and does not own any vehicle. And this condition is fulfilled by 10 family, and that will be your favorable outcome. And therefore the probability of that event will be 10 upon 2400. Now 100 will cancel, so 1 upon 240, and the final answer will be 0.0042. And the last one is event D, owning not more than one vehicle. Now see here, not more than one vehicle, that means we have to consider all the families which have exactly one vehicle and no vehicle, and therefore the sum will be 10 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 160 plus 305 plus 535 plus 469 plus 579. That means from the table we have to add all the families which have 0 vehicle and 1 vehicle, and the total number of such families is 2062 families, and that will be your favorable outcome. And therefore the probability of that event will be 2062 upon 2400. Now by dividing numerator and denominator by 24, numerator will be 85.92 and denominator will be 100, and therefore the final answer will be 0.8592. So these are the solutions of your unit test. So if you like this video, then share with your friends and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you.